Are you wondering where the family-friendly areas in Atlanta are? Well, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you my 4 top choices for family-friendly areas to live in the Atlanta area, and it's coming up right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Atlanta. My name is Mark, and today we're going to be talking about the most family-friendly areas in Atlanta. I have 4 neighborhoods for you today that are inside the perimeter in town that are extremely family-friendly. They're safe neighborhoods, the schools are great pretty much across the board, and you won't run out of things to do in any of these neighborhoods. Now, today's list is going to be in-town neighborhoods inside the perimeter created by 285. I am going to do a follow-up video of the most family-friendly suburbs in the Atlanta area, so make sure you stay on the lookout for that. Now, what makes a family-friendly area? Well, the criteria that I used was the schools have to be, for the most part, very good. These have to be areas where you feel safe as a family, whether you're out walking your kid on a stroller or walking with your dog and your kids, or you're coming home late at night. You don't want to feel unsafe in your neighborhood, especially with children involved. So all these areas are very safe. These are all in-town areas, like I've mentioned, so very close to the heart of the city, and there's going to be a lot to do, not just in general, but specifically related to families in all of these neighborhoods. Now, I'm going to put a couple links up on the screen here. I will include them in the description as well, and these will be great tools for you on your journey and finding out where you and your family want to be in the Atlanta area. One is the Georgia School Reports website. This is official data from the state of Georgia, giving every public school in Georgia an official letter grade. I prefer this information over the third-party aggregator sites like niche.com because you don't know how they arrive at their numbers. The other website is going to be the official Atlanta Police Department crime maps. This is just useful information to have if you are looking at a neighborhood in Atlanta. You can input the information and see exactly how many crimes and what types of crimes have happened in the last month, 6 months, year, 10 years, whatever you want to do. There's all the statistics you could be looking for related to crime using this website. So let's get right into my list of the most family-friendly areas inside the perimeter of Atlanta. I've got 4 neighborhoods for you today, and the first is the city of Decatur. Now, yes, this is Decatur, not Atlanta, but it's very close to Atlanta, okay? It's in the Atlanta area. We're inside the perimeter, which is the most practical use of the description, and this is just an amazing place, not just for families, but for anyone. And the reason I say that is because downtown Decatur is one of the most walkable, dense areas in a very sprawled out city. So it's a great thing to have nearby. Some of the best restaurants in the area, some of the best shopping, and just overall a beautifully laid out atmosphere with commercial buildings and restaurants, and townhomes, all in Decatur Square. It's a popular destination for a date night, but this is also an extremely family-friendly area. City of Decatur is known for having outstanding public schools, some of the best inside the perimeter. When you spend some time in the city of Decatur or Oakhurst or anywhere around the downtown area, you're going to see a very common thing, which is children walking around either by themselves or with their parents, but there's kids walking around all over this area, so they feel safe doing that. They're going to and from school. Crossing guards out and about helping kids across. So obviously a very family-oriented area in the city of Decatur. Great public schools. Typically, safety is not going to be a major concern of yours living in this area. And you're not just going to have fun things to do, you're going to have high-end things to do, desirable restaurants and shops and things to partake in. You've got the DeKalb Farmers Market close by, which is one of the best farmers markets in the Atlanta area. The All-Women's College Agnes Scott is located here. You're a very easy drive deeper into town. It would only take you about 15 to 20 minutes to get to Midtown. It would only take you probably 25 minutes to get to the airport. Really a very easy commute, whether you're going south towards the airport or whether you're headed northwest towards Midtown or Buckhead. The city of Decatur is simply one of the best in-town locations that I can think of to raise a family. Now, it is going to be more expensive, as are most places going to be on this list, especially because it gets more dense here. You may be looking at townhome style living, probably starting in the mid 500s. If you're intent on a single family detached home, you're probably going to need a budget starting in the mid 700s, and that goes well into the $1 million price range. But the city of Decatur is simply one of the most family friendly areas inside the perimeter of 285. Hey, real quick, before I give you the next neighborhood, if you enjoy this content and you're looking to purchase or sell sell a home anywhere in the Atlanta area. I am a licensed realtor and I have a lot of experience helping people buy and sell in the area. So if you enjoy the content I put out, if I seem like a person that you would want to work with, I would love to hear from you. You can book a Zoom call with me for free using the link in the description below. My phone number and email are all in the description. Reach out in any way that you feel comfortable, but I pride myself on knowing this city better than pretty much anyone. So if you need help figuring things out with anything related to real estate, I want you to reach out. I love when my viewers become clients. All right, next up on the list, I have Candler Park. Now, when you talk to someone from Candler Park, you're going to know it because they're going to talk about living there. People who live in this area are extremely passionate about their neighborhood, and many of those people are parents and families. Candler Park is very much in the heart of the city, adjacent to Little Five Points and Inman Park, so you're going to be close by to a ton of things to do in those areas as well. But this is sort of a quaint, quiet little neighborhood in the heart of the city. It's got a nice little walkable area with some pretty good restaurants and shops. It's also adjacent to Lake Claire, which is on many people's list of top areas for families in Atlanta. There are a lot of events and festivals hosted at Candler Park throughout the year, and the assigned Atlanta public schools in this area are typically better than many other parts of the city. There's also really pretty architecture in this area, lots of classic craftsman homes, even some examples of Queen Anne and Victorian era houses. Now again, like most of the other neighborhoods on this list, it's not going to be cheap to live in Candler Park. You'll likely need a budget of at least the mid $600,000 range to have a single family detached home in this area. But if you love city living, being in the heart of town, or maybe you just have to work close by, this is one of the best neighborhoods that I can think of to be really in town, close to anything you could want to do, while still being safe and very family oriented and friendly. Again, you're going to see plenty of kids out walking about, people walking the streets with their dogs. People will say hi to you in this area, and it's a very active neighborhood association, which is a common theme among the neighborhoods that I'm discussing today. Being able to pop into Inman Park for a date night, or enjoy a festival at Little Five Points, and only being about 5 or 10 minutes from your home in Candler Park is a huge benefit of living in this area. So if you very much want to be in the heart of the city with lots of things to do, but still in a great atmosphere to raise your children, Candler Park definitely needs to be on your list of places to check out. All right, next up on the list, I have Morningside LENOX Park. Now, if you have a larger budget and you really want some of the best things to do around Atlanta at your fingertips, Morningside LENOX Park is definitely a place that you should look to raise your family. This is going to be just northeast of Midtown. It is going to border Piedmont Park, so already right there, you've got one of the best amenities in the city at your fingertips. And not only Piedmont Park, but the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, which is a fantastic place to go take your kids. You've got Ansley Golf Club. You've got the Morningside Nature Preserve, which is hugely popular. There's a community garden in Morningside LENOX Park. There's also 2 MARTA stations, so you're talking about one of the few neighborhoods in the city that has decent quality public transportation. It's also an extremely safe, walkable area filled with gorgeous homes. You're definitely creeping closer to the $1 million price point to get started in this neighborhood. But this really is all the best things that Atlanta has to offer. And of course, this area is also adjacent to the Beltline, which is not only a great amenity for you to enjoy, whether you want to, go to the park, hop on the Beltline and walk down to Inman Park or back, but also for your property values. As I've mentioned before, anytime you're looking at a neighborhood that has quick access to the Beltline, that's going to bode very well for appreciation of that property over time. This is an extremely safe neighborhood, and the public schools are typically rated better than average in this area. There's also an extremely active neighborhood association that's very involved in everything going on in this area. So if you do have a larger budget and you want to be in the heart of the city, close to some of the best amenities that Atlanta has to offer, you're raising a family, it's got to be a safe area with good schools, I would highly recommend you look into Morningside LENOX Park. It's one of the best neighborhoods in Atlanta to raise a family. And the 4th and final neighborhood on my list of the most family-friendly neighborhoods in the Atlanta area is Vinings. Now, you don't hear about Vinings a lot. If you go do a search, it might not pop up on your list of most family-friendly areas, but it's really kind of a unicorn. You're inside the perimeter, but you're also managed by Cobb County. In fact, it's Cobb County's only ITP neighborhood. You've got gorgeous hilly tree-lined streets in this area. The Chattahoochee River is right in your backyard. There's the National Recreation Area, which makes for a great place to go spend time by yourself or with your kids. There is a lot of great shopping and restaurants in Vinings itself, but you're also super close to the Battery, which is just to the northwest. This is where the Atlanta Braves play, and this has become a huge amenity for Atlantans, not just when the Braves are playing, but there's a whole area, a whole complex, the Battery, with multiple restaurants and bars and retail shopping. So it's really become a destination whether or not the Braves are playing that day. There's a nice walkable village type area in Vinings. There's the old Vinings Inn. It's really got an old time charm to it. Canoe Restaurant is in Vinings and is generally considered one of the better restaurants in the Atlanta area. The schools are really good here. It's a very safe feeling area, in many ways feels a little bit disconnected from the city of Atlanta, but geographically, you're right in the thick of things. It'd take you no time at all to go to Piedmont Park. You'd still only probably be 25 minutes to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Close to the Battery, really close to Buckhead, really not far at all from Avalon and Alpharetta. So it's not going to be difficult at all to find a fun event to keep your kids occupied and excited without having to come home at a late hour. Now again, this is not a cheap area. You're going to need a budget. Probably starting in the $600,000 to $700,000 range just to get something livable in this area, probably even more than that. But it is a very welcoming, tight-knit community. People take a lot of pride in living here. And if I was looking for a neighborhood in the Atlanta area to raise a family and I had the means to do so, I think Vinings would be right at the top of the list. All right, so there you have it. Some of the most family-friendly neighborhoods in the Atlanta area. Inside the perimeter, remember, I'm going to do a video for those of you who want to be a little bit further out from town, suburbs and exurbs and so forth. So make sure you're on the lookout for that video. And of course, there are so many other family-friendly areas around Atlanta. Don't feel like if I didn't mention a neighborhood you're looking at, it's not family-friendly. These are just 4 neighborhoods that really stood out to me. I hope this information is providing you value and helping you make great decisions in your journey to consider living or buying a home in Atlanta. Remember, we can work directly if you want to. All you have to do is reach out to me, book a call, or just pick up the phone and dial my number. I love connecting with my viewers. Really appreciate y'all watching, and if you don't mind, hit like, hit subscribe. It's a great free way to support me. Let me know in the comments below if there's a video subject that you like to see that I haven't covered yet. But until my next video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.